All right, guys, we fucked up. We made some mistakes. We tried something different, and I'm here to own it. Today, I want to talk about the Condemn Labs athlete program, some of the things that just happened recently, why we pivoted and did what we did versus why we're going in the direction that we're going now. And, this doesn't fall on anybody. This is not a knock at anybody specific. This is just the brand trying to grow and do different things and go back to some of the things that we were doing that worked a long time ago that clearly aren't working now. And I feel like I ruffled some feathers in between and maybe got some people, feeling some type of way. And I want to kind of retract that a little bit and see if I could fix it and make it right. So first and foremost, I'm going to be running the athlete program now. I put a lot of systems and structures in place. Basically, what I did was I found people that have been with the brand for a long time because I started to see a pattern on bringing some of the new people on. They see the brand from face value on the outside looking in. They think the brand's a lot bigger than what it is. And a lot of the times, the athlete influencers kind of just looking to see what they can get, as opposed to the people that have been with me for a long time through all the ups and downs and stuff like that. These are the people that are brand loyal, and these are the people that I'm going to have supporting me every step of the way through the program. So what I did was I created a WhatsApp group, and it's a moderator group now, and I have 6 people in there that are helping moderate. So I got customer service, I have technical support, and then I have 4 people that have been with me for almost a decade. These people are brand loyal. They buy the products for the most part, and we're moving them on up the ranks, and they're just going to help kind of keep things running smoothly. I noticed in the WhatsApp group that was done prior that engagement just fell down. Team morale was broken. Spirit was broken. Energy wasn't there. People weren't excited and enthusiastic. And I kind of saw the writing on the wall while it was happening, and I kind of let it go on for a little bit just to see it through. I'm not really a quitter. I want to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe sometimes you see the good within the bad, but I can tell you this, it was an ultimate flop. This was probably one of the worst flops that Condemn Labs has done in 10 years. It was just a backfire. It didn't go the way we wanted it to go. And I'm going to go over some of that now. So basically, Caleb and I are going to address a video on what we tried to do and, the vision that we saw for the brand and see if we could spark some life back into this competitive bodybuilding community. And we're going to address a video separately, but I have to make something now because I don't know when I'm going to see him again, hopefully in the near future. But this is not a knock on him, a reflection of him. He had some great ideas. But for example, we started to clean up the Condemn Labs page and we said, okay, we want to hit that next thing of expansion. What do we have to do with the brand to kind of give it a little bit more of a professional feel and hit a wider scope of audience? And, that's the name of the game in business. If you're not growing, you're dying. So you're constantly finding ways to grow. So it's not easy to always make these decisions and make these calls. But when we started the brand, I was competitive bodybuilding. Condemn theme was always going through something hard, coming out changed, coming out transformed. And, we still stand by that today. We're still true to that. It's just, I think the medium of who we use to promote, to bring that brand identity is going to pivot and change a little bit more. We went with a little bit more of a corporate, structured, polished look. We brought in a bunch of competitive bodybuilders, and it just lost its luster along the way. On top of that, it was a financial scolding for me. A lot of these guys, some of these guys were getting paid salaries. A lot of these guys we were dumping into photo shoots, team meetups. It was just a lot of money going in with nothing coming out. Even something as a simple metric on the page. The page isn't the biggest page. We have about 50,000 followers on the Condemn Labs page, which isn't big, but it's all been organic traffic just from different athletes that we've sponsored and ads that we've ran and, products that we've released and stores that have shared us. And, the views were over the millions. The views were in the probably, I would say somewhere between 1.1 and 1.4 million views per month on the page, which I think is decent for that size for a brand page. And, pivoting to this cleaned up, polished look, bringing on all these athletes and the bodybuilders, the competitive athletes and the bodybuilders, it just started to tank. And I saw it happening. And the page had this Nike aesthetic to it, where if you looked at it, it looked like a way more clean, polished brand, and it looked very professional. And I liked it. I liked it. I thought it was really cool. I thought, somewhere down in the future, we might go back to that route, but I think we just have to grow into it a little bit more. But the engagement started to fall off completely. The post started tanking. And I just think that it just lost the brand appeal, like the authentic feel. Even though it was still keeping an authentic vibe, I think it's just not 100% who we are anymore. Do we cater to competitive bodybuilders? 1000%. The brand was always developed for the competitive bodybuilder in mind. But, we do cater to the average gym bro. We cater to influencers. We cater to powerlifters. We cater to MMA fighters. We cater to soccer moms. We have a tremendous weight loss category that does really well amongst females. So I think what happened was we tried something. We pressed on it really, really hard. We stayed committed. We gave it about 4 months of hell. And then I just saw a massive downturn. Like everything from numbers going down, sales going down, engagement going down. And, I come from a competitive bodybuilder background. I'm not going to knock competitive bodybuilders, but there's a reason why these guys are getting smoked by influencers. Most brands are looking for competitive bodybuilders and athletes to promote for them. We decided to double down and reinforce that bet by sending a videographer on these people multiple times a month, getting them A+ content, great photos, and thinking that was going to take things, turn it up a notch, right? Like, hey, a lot of the time, some of these guys don't have access to these things, or these guys just want to work out and lift weights, pick things up and put them down. And they're not the best on social media. That's why the influencer game is erupting right now, right? That's why the guys who are creators, UGC creators, they're erupting right now. It's taking off. It's the name of the game. And social media, the new algorithm is favoring volume. So if you're a sponsored athlete in 2026 and you're not willing to post a brand a little bit more because you're worried about your page being hoarded out or looking like a walking billboard, dude, just go somewhere else, bro. Go start your own company or don't be sponsored. That's what it is. Nobody right now is knocking it out of the park dead where they're going to post once or twice a month and a brand, is going to get that massive awareness from them unless you're talking about being just an anomaly like CBum. There's nobody else in the market right now. If I sat there with a pen and paper and wrote everybody down that I've scouted the market for over the years, nobody's going to do that. And unfortunately, sometimes the bodybuilding community, the competitive bodybuilding community, not bodybuilding, because bodybuilding is a general community, but the competitive bodybuilding community is like, it's prima donnas. Like these guys think they're God's gift to the world sometimes, and that they don't have to do the extra work because, they do these shows and they compete in these shows. And this is a very subjective sport, bro. You pay to play. There's a lot of politics involved. What's hot today is not hot tomorrow. What's hot tomorrow is not hot the next day. So it's like, it's a very short-lived window. And, I think the thing that we're looking to do now, after seeing how this went and how this unfolded and the financial abuse that it put on me, and then the lack of respect out the door from some of these guys after they couldn't perform, was just, to me, it was eye-opening. To me, it was eye-opening. Just for instance, we got a guy that just won the New York Pro. Guy was there for 3 or 4 months with the brand, hasn't made almost no sales, and hasn't put any energy into creating his own posts at all because he was getting spoon-fed content. And that to me is like a lack of that to me is a lack of effort. And one thing I don't do is I don't do laziness on this team. I'm killing myself. I got 3 kids. I got a wife. I got a house, a mortgage. I got bills like everybody else. I'm dealing with the same economic issues everybody is. I get gas. I go to the grocery store. Dude, we're not over here balling out, buying expensive shit. We're chilling right now. We're kind of staying put and holding cash, seeing what's going on. So for me to be putting my blood, sweat, and tears in, and I clock more hours than probably most people, when I bring somebody onto the team, I'm not looking for warm bodies or placeholders. And that's been a huge issue. Some of these guys come on board and they just want to be the guy. They got another guy, young pro on the team, just left. Good riddance. See you later, buddy. Gave everything I could, tried to help him out, try to help him be successful to see if they can get some traction there. Posting, subpar. Sales, almost non-existent. Well, it's hard for me not to make a correlation. Well, you're not really posting. You're not getting sales. The worst part is both of these guys have clients. Both of these gentlemen have clients. And that to me is just, it's just discouraging because at the end of the day, if you have somewhere in the ballpark of anywhere from 5, 10, 15,000 followers, dude, you should be able to sell a pre-workout or a fat burner or an amino acid or a creatine to your clients or to your customer list. But if you're not putting the effort, you're not putting the energy, it's not doing that. You're not going to do anything. Nothing's going to happen. Not in this day and age. You'll get beat up by some influencer who's 150 pounds, that's got a tripod, and he's just willing to do the work. And that's exactly what's happening. So Condemn Labs is a hardcore brand. It's always going to be a bodybuilding-centric brand. It's always going to be for the more dedicated, serious fitness enthusiast. But right now, we're looking for people with personalities. We're looking for people with stories. We're looking for people that are willing to promote and post on social media. We're looking for people to bring that intense energy. That's another thing. Some of these millennial bodybuilders, dude, they don't touch free weights. Everybody's scared of getting injured. Nobody's banging like, deadlifts anymore. Nobody's touching dumbbells and using all these machines like little, like girls, dude. I watched some of the YouTube videos. And to be honest with you, I was falling asleep during them. So I'm like, if this is Condemned Labs is not a brand that you take the product and you fall asleep. So if the energy is that dead and it's that boring, I'm looking for the outside looking in face value. I was just not happy with it. So now I had to call an audible. I had to basically turn around and say, okay, this is how this is going to go down. Now, I've given this athlete advisor role to 3 or 4 people. Now, some people were very successful in getting the posting. Some people were very successful at driving the numbers. Nobody was well-rounded enough to be able to do it all. Get people posting, keep people enthusiastic, incentivize them, get them excited, and then obviously get them to educate their audiences, get them to post, and then put out good content in general, not for the brand, for themselves. And for me, that was one of those situations where I said, okay, I've seen this all. I can't look for anybody else to save me anymore. Nobody's going to care about the brand the way I'm going to care about the brand. So I'm going to grab the bull by the horns and I'm going to do it myself. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I've already reached out to athletes. I'm bringing people on. I'm creating separate groups. I'm reworking the offering in the page. We have a new system in the back. It's Reversion. We used it before in the past. They've completely revamped their whole platform. User interface is way more friendly. It's got a lot more parameters of what it can and cannot do. I think it's going to be great for what we were using. I had somebody else come in on this last program and stick me into this contract of this overly engineered and overpriced platform that just people were not even engaging in because they didn't know how to use it. It was just madness. I just kind of let things get out of absolutely fucking control. And I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I am busy doing a lot of other things. There's calendars with marketing schedules going on. I'm still involved in customer service to a degree. I still deal with shipping issues. I still deal with sales. I still deal with all the social media, scouting. So the athlete thing is, it's a separate piece by itself that could be really big, but it's also, it's also a lot of work to do it right. If you don't have the systems in place, it's 10 times harder and it'll never grow. So I rather go right now a little smaller, quality over quantity, handpick people, bring people back on that were there, put systems and structures in place that are black and white, simple, stupid, and see if we can build some team energy. I'm going to make sure I incentivize everybody in the group. I'm going to give the group exclusive access to things. I'm going to give them exclusive things that I'm not even going to list on the website. So they'll be listed in a subgroup where they can go on the website. They'll have a link and they can get these items at either first come, first serve or exclusively to the Iron Infamy program that we're sticking with that name as well. So, it's like I said, I'm not trying to knock some of these guys, man. They just left a bad taste in my mouth because they came here, they kind of rang the well up dry, didn't do anything, didn't put in any work, and then they all just kind of left. And then when they left, they took their little minions with them because they powwowed against me as if I was the problem or something was going on with the brand that was the problem. And the truth of the matter is, there was just no effort, no energy. There was nothing going on there that was worthy of the whole thing was just upside down. I don't have anything good to say about it, so I don't want to keep harping on it. But going forward, I have, reached out to some of the guys and made contact with them, pulling some of the guys that have really great stories, that aren't scared to promote content, that are coaches with robust coaching businesses, and that actually care. I have them coming back in, so I'm going to be building out that WhatsApp group chat with them. And then I scouted 3 or 4 new talents that I'm talking to now. 2 of them I closed myself. I did it all by myself by sending direct messages, reaching out to people, mutual friends, plugging me in, and that's it. And I'm hand selecting some of these top guys that I want to elevate the brand, to give the brand identity, and kind of moving forward, I want this to be the future of the brand. I want it to be a little bit more versatile, flexible. I do want competitive bodybuilders. I don't want lazy competitive bodybuilders. I don't care if you're winning shows. It doesn't matter to me anymore. I don't care if you got a pro card. Nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares. I hate to say it. I was a guy who was on stage chasing a pro card. I owned a supplement store. I used to spray tan all the athletes for the events out in New York. So I've won overall shows, been there, done that. Sponsored by Muscle Tech, Shred's first bodybuilding athlete. Dude, I've been there, I've done it, I've seen it all. But one thing I did not do was ever be lazy. I was never lazy. I always got in the front line, always posted, always gave 110%. And, at the end of the day, some people mistake this kind of free product thing for like, oh, the brand's free products. It's not really free products. My manufacturer gives me some wiggle room in terms, but if I don't have the money to pay him because I'm giving away a bunch of free products to a bunch of like hungry mouths that just want to get stuff for free, that puts me in a tight spot. It puts me in a tight spot. They're not free. I have to pay for them. And supplements these days, I can tell you this, the days of making a $5, $6, $7 product, they're almost out the window extinct. There's nothing on the market that is worthy of talking about that is that cheap. The bar has been raised. There's more trademarked ingredients than ever. Flavoring systems cost a lot of money, raw materials, transportation, customs duty fees, gas fees. I mean, everything is expensive now. You guys know this already. I don't have to tell anybody. So supplements are not cheap. The margins on the supplements are slim. If I had an apparel company, my margins would probably be even way double as good as they are on supplements. So with that being said, a lot of people are just like, oh, I'll just take the free supplements and just do whatever. And they make it like it's no big deal. It is a big deal. It impacts the company's bottom line. They're giving you something in exchange for promotion to help grow their brand and awareness, hoping that you're the person that looks the way, sounds the way they want their brand to feel to another audience. And the thing is this, a lot of these guys just don't care. They really, really don't care. And I learned something over the years. You really can't grow with people like that. So the only way to get rid of cancer is, you can't put a Band-Aid on it. You got to eliminate it and kill it. So that's exactly what I did with this other program. Just took everything out and said, you know what? We got to stop doing this. This isn't working. I'm bleeding cash. And I've always kept people where if I was losing money, but they were doing what they were supposed to do on their part, I've always kept people on board. There was guys with me right now, really great bodybuilder, coming up the ranks, extremely well known. He was with me for years. His first 2 years with me out of like the 3 years that he was with me, his sales put me underwater. But professional, always made his posts, always put quality and care and creativity into his post. And at the end of the day, that fulfilled his contractual obligations, and I never felt any type of way. And then, at some point, after I stuck it out for 2 years, 3 years, I started to see a little bit of a return on my investment. But the visual representation was there. The professionalism was there. The educational piece was there. The community building aspect of the identity to the brand was there. Nowadays, it's just like, I feel like everybody's just kind of, trying to shortcut things and not putting the effort and energy in, and we're not accepting that we're condemned anymore. So going forward, we are going to be launching a new athlete program, going to be on a new platform. It's going to be new WhatsApp groups. Might have to implement people's new codes over onto this software. There's going to be incentivization. There's going to be gamification. There's going to be a payment structure that's a little bit more unique. Yes, the bottom tier, you're coming on board. You're going to pay for products at a deep discount, and you're going to get incentivized with bonuses and commission that will be paid into gift cards back into the brand. This is the bottom tier people who are just coming on board. Maybe they don't have a big following. They want to be part of the community. Kind of everybody does it like that, and there's a reason why they do it like that. And then when they earn their commission, they can get more products. And this is setting you up ultimately for success to grow to the next tier. I'm not doing another tier like that. The next tier is getting free product to a certain degree and earning commission. The tier after that, you're getting more free product, earning more commission. The fourth tier, it's only going to be 4 tiers. That's invite only. I'm pulling you out of the hat. If I see you're doing exceptionally well, if you're crushing the content, if you're getting some sales, if you're just becoming a reliable, sustainable person who's down for the brand, I am pulling people out. It's not always a monetary thing. It's never been a monetary thing until the monetary is like in the negative. That's where it's like, okay, how long can I keep doing this? Is there going to be some sort of positive outcome from this? And if there's not, it's just got to go. It's got to go. So like I said, I apologize for the guys that we brought on the last run. Not all of them, but I just apologize for like pivoting on the direction I was going, making a drastic movement to this direction, because after talking to about 15 of the athlete affiliate ambassadors, I could tell people were sour about it. They were salty. They didn't like what was going on. They felt disconnected from the group. They felt forgotten about. They felt abandoned. They felt like it was off brand, and that the people that helped me build the brand and the people that helped me that actually genuinely cared, they got slighted. And you know what? I stuck it out for a little bit too long, and that's my fault. So I'll take full ownership there. Not how it's going to go down anymore. And at the end of the day, give me 1 second here. Okay, yeah, we're recording. Yeah. So at the end of the day, that doesn't go on anybody's shoulders except mine. And I've taken I've been punished for it. I've lost good people. A lot of my affiliates just left. And all those new guys, they came and they scrambled like cockroaches for the most part. They came and scrambled like cockroaches. I have not one nice thing to say about any of them. Except the reason why they're in the situation they're in is, it's not going to be another brand issue. Some of these guys, I was warned by one of the guys that came on from the team from another brand owner who was like, hey, don't pay that kid $1. He's lazy, not going to post, no sales. Kid came on board, got his pro card. I tried to help him out a little bit, put a videographer on him, prima donna, wants everything handed to him, didn't want to do anything. And then push came to shove, couldn't get what he wanted from the brand because the performance wasn't justifiably there. After trying to help elevate the kid's platform, they just jump ship and go to another brand. But it wasn't the brand before yours. It wasn't my brand, and it wasn't going to be the next brand. This is a you issue. Some of these people need to look in the mirror and hold themselves accountable. I can't do that. I don't babysit grown men, and I don't have time for these games right now. So that being said, I am going to make a little bit more of an exciting, less like hostile video about my feelings towards this program and the way it was going. I'm going to talk about all the benefits, all the features and things like that. But for right now, I'm addressing the program, addressing some of the things in the past. Some of these guys, they struck a nerve with me, and I've addressed it with some of them. And, I just don't like the way they do certain things. So that's not things that are going to be tolerated on Condemn Labs going forward. We are going back to what we were doing. And already since I've been posting, the views on the page are up 50,000 views. I'm not posting pretty. I'm not posting polished. I'm taking people's content that they're giving me. I'm resharing it. I'm putting out cool stuff. It's not overly engineered. It doesn't look like a Nike advertisement. It's, a hardcore, gritty supplement brand. That's it. So with that being said, guys, if you're interested, you want to be a part of the team, if you've seen this video, send me a personal message, direct message me, and I will get you set up. We are in the works of setting it up. Things are pretty much almost finalized right now. Going to probably need about another week to really button everything up and polish it just to make sure all systems are go. And I'm looking forward to building out the team. I'm looking forward to building out the brand. I'm looking forward to working with you. And I'm looking forward to growing the brand back in the direction that it was already headed in before we made this, pivotal mistake. And like I said, I'll be the first one to take ownership. I let things go on a little too far. I knew they weren't going in the right direction. I knew it was just a little too far off the deep end. And I'm not saying this was too far off the deep end. It was just too many changes at once to the brand. And these things need to be like leaked in here and there. They need to be tested a little bit more. And we had to kind of see like what was going to work and what wasn't. We kind of went all in on something. And I'm just sorry that I kind of left some of my older guys in the dark over here and made them feel some type of way, because they've been riding with me. They've been helping me out with the brand. They've been grinding. They've been brand loyal, supporting the products, where these other people, just another lesson in life, right? They just go somewhere else. So that's it. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I've already spoke about it too much, but I am excited about the future. I am excited about the systems that we're putting in place. I'm excited about the new offerings, and I'm kind of curious to hear feedback from you guys and some of my old heads on the team that have been with me for a long time. Please do me a favor, reach out, man. Give me some of your perspective. I want to hear from you guys. You guys have seen the brand grow and evolve and go up and down and all this stuff. So I'm really curious to hear what you guys think and to see if there's anything that I could do better, because I am a work in progress. I'm willing to admit that. I'm always trying to get better. I'm always trying to grow. So guys, with that being said, this is my video addressing the current standings of the athlete program. I am going to make a follow-up video for this video, and that video is going to be a lot more directed at the future of what we're doing. So I'm excited about it. We also got a big event coming up July 25th. If you guys want to come out there, Las Vegas team meet and greet, Condemn Labs. We're being sponsored by Bum Energy. My buddy Dom said he's going to sponsor it, which is great. We're going to have meal prep companies out there. It's going to be more companies we're going to leak out. It's going to be a mastermind, group workout, content overload. I mean, we're really trying to pull in coaches and people that want to elevate themselves to the next level, pairing up with Dane, Mike, Grind Time Fit. Those guys, they're crushing it out there. So I'm trying to pair myself with guys that have like-minded community groups as well and see if I could help them. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're going to be building community. We're going to be doing a lot more live in-person events. We're going to be doing a lot more sampling, taste testing, and getting out the things that really helped me become successful with the brand. I think what's happening now with AI and disconnection of social media, you're just seeing like this humanization that's just getting ripped apart and down. So I'm going back to what I did 10 years ago. And it's crazy because 10 years, things have cycles, like about every 10 years. And it seems like the things that I did in the beginning for Condemned without the experience work better than some of the things that are working now. So I'm going back to those roots. I think you guys would love it. I'd love for you to be a part of it. And as always, if you guys have any comments, questions at all, reach out to me. Give me some feedback. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.